doctor was assaulted and murdered in a state hospital in Kolkata. It echoes similar nationwide protests that erupted in 2012 when a woman was attacked by a group of men inside a bus in New Delhi. Despite the protests, the number of rape cases have remained high, even before the current Kolkata incident.
All women across India, irrespective of caste, creed, or religion.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, now I shall move on forward on implementation mechanism, which is on page number 5. If you could just refer to that. Thank you. Now, the Sapphire policy primarily focuses upon, first, to empower the headquarters of National Commission for Women, NCW, which is situated in New Delhi, to work as an oversight body to analyze, interpret, and report the dynamic grassroots level issues that women face in their day-to-day daily life. Second, to prepare a National Gender Equality Index, that is GEI, to measure progress across India and upon various parameters such as legal reforms, workforce participation, and safety of women, and they shall be submitting its report annually to the Ministry of Home Affairs. Second, we require, as per the Sapphire policy, we will be collaborating with NGOs and civil society organizations so as to ensure that this particular policy actually reaches the grassroots levels in India. Fourth, we propose that we appoint women safety officers in every district in India to monitor safety conditions and act as liaisons with law enforcement and resolve such complaints, which may be in the form of an ombudsman. Further, on fifth point, we recommend to undertake special steps by state policy in collaboration with the Ministry of Ministry of Health and Family to prevent female feticide by swift reporting of such actions. Sixth, we recommend that workplaces, both governmental and private sectors, must provide sanitary products for women under the Jan Aushadhi Suvidha scheme, which is available at 1 rupees per bag only. Seventh, we propose the establishment of a governmental only women cab service scheme named Stree Aksi to provide transport facilities to those women who work late night hours and who are working day and night and are working overtime, so as to ensure that their problems with relevance to their commutation could be further resolved. This shall be looked after by means of dropping them at their doorstep by women drivers only, which shall be done by means of a public-private partnership with Ola Cabs, which shall be done in the following manner. First, the government of India shall partner up with a popular cab companies such as Ola Cabs, who will then assign trained female drivers available only to female passengers. Second, the Ministry of Transport shall maintain an oversight body to ensure that the accountability of such pickups of women is looked after to, and also it shall maintain the number of safe drops and pickups thus achieved via this scheme. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I shall now move upon the cost-benefit analysis of this particular scheme, which is on page number 6. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the cost-benefit analysis of the Sapphire scheme is as follows. First, with reference to costs that shall come up when we empower the National Commission for Women as an oversight body would be, first, we will be hiring additional staff, setting up research wings, and expanding NCW infrastructures to collect data from grassroots levels. Second, technological investment. We will be developing digital platforms to collect, analyze, and report real-time data. We will be collecting data on gender equality across states on lines of workforce participation, legal reforms, and safety measures. Second, annual reporting. Resources needed to prepare and submit the DEI will help monitor progress on gender equality, revealing gaps in implementation, and further guiding future resource allocation. Second, policy focus. It would ensure that states who have a low GEI index can receive targeted assistance under the Sapphire scheme and ensure balanced development across the country. Third, long-term economic gains. A more gender equal society promotes economic growth and reduces poverty, especially by encouraging higher female workforce in its participation. Third, when we collaborate with NGOs and civil society organizations, the costs for the same are as follows. We will be setting up workshops and capacity building sessions with NGOs and local community organizations, which will be done in collaboration with the said NGOs. Second, ongoing expenses to track the impact and outreach of the policy at grassroots levels. Now, the estimated annual cost of this particular solution would be around 15 to 20 crore. That would be second, resource Now the budget allocation that shall be granted by, that shall be allocated from the Ministry of Home Affairs shall be in accordance with by partnering with local organizations, which further strengthens trust, making this policy more effective. Third, estimated benefits. With reference to local level policy execution, we believe that this would increase faster outreach with more stronger community ties. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I shall now move on the fourth cost, that would be when we appoint a women safety officer in every district. The cost for the same shall be, first, hiring and training female workforces that shall ensure that there is proper training with relevance to gender sensitivity, legal procedures, and conflict resolution. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that further detailed explanation is already there in our policy. With that said, we'd like to conclude by saying
on focusing the goal 5 on gender equality and goal 10 on reduce inequalities. As we all are aware about the negative situation that women face, such as sexual exploitation, eve teasing, and sexual harassment at work, these objectives can be achieved by commensurating improvement in infrastructure and enhanced legal protections. The main objectives that we are focusing over here are to bring the percentage of women in leadership roles up to at least 30%, promote women's economic empowerment by giving them access to jobs and entrepreneurship, enhance access to justice for women and girls through effective reporting mechanisms and support services. The problem that we are solving through this policy occurs in common places such as public areas and even in homes. These problems have been going from ages, and the main control norms have been stopping women from becoming financially independent. Rights codes and conventions, organizational policies and procedures. To meet these requirements, we need to keep in check the indicators such as number of reported incidents of discrimination, harassment, timely investigation and support services for victims, training and awareness sessions and campaigns.
Contribution by women, gender inequality and violence continue to undermine their potential and compromise their safety. Let me repeat, compromise their safety. Well, this is nothing but end of humanity and moral principles of ours. I want to ask everyone present here, are the women right now safe? We really don't think so. Are they given enough freedom? I guess this is no more a policy to be discussed or a mere topic to be discussed, but right now it's time to fight and take an immediate action.
Can we see the slide, please? Yeah, I want everyone to pay attention here, and we can see the crimes against women. The major crimes have been categorized in this bar graph, and there is this graph which shows the rise, the number of rapes, crimes in lakhs across years. The data is up to 2022. We can see clearly that though trends have been going up and down, but at the end of 2022 we find that we got a net increase. So this means that whatever we did had some benefits. Just to summarize, there are gender-based violence, legal complexities, cultural barriers present, as well as low workforce percentage of women at various sectors, including the public as well as the private sectors. The next, please. Yeah. One important here point, which is this point number 5, lack of awareness. There is an acute lack of awareness at the grassroots levels and unfortunately even at the urban levels. This is a great danger to our society.
Society, but I guess it is for the nation.
Yeah, please. These are basically the reforms which we have introduced. We are amending section 63, 76 and 77 along with section 80 of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. We are removing the exception of marital rape, which is not considered a rape as
Marital rape. I guess there was a statement by Supreme Court which no one considered it as a rape. Do you think this is right? I don't think so. This is just an end of a humanity. Let us understand. A girl when it is a woman when it is forced, it is a rape.
yeah. One more thing which we are is the creation of Council for Gender Justice, working under the Honorable Supreme Court of India across all 28 states of the nation. This council will act straight away under the Supreme Court and will be headed by a 25-member committee per state. Moreover, we are increasing punishments and penalties which are currently imposed on offenders. We have amended section 76, 77, section 80 of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. Moreover, the Council of Gender Justice will work for section 63 to section 92 of the PNS 2023. Additionally, we have mandated female workforce. 40% female workforce is mandatory in government sector and 42% of corporate sector by 2030. Can we change please? The next one. One more thing I would like to add here. We often see that crimes against women occur in streets where cameras are present. We have integrated artificial intelligence to recognize crimes wherever they occur and to acknowledge them, to report them as soon as possible to the local police stations. We will be equipping 5 lakh cameras with artificial intelligence in cities with a population over 1 million. That is 10 lakh in
and gender-based inequality in workplaces and women-based violence in several parts of the country. Policy statement, it includes that Commission for Women, Security and Gender Equality will be established in all the administrative divisions of all 28 states. Now this will be under the State Women Commission, and the State Women Commission will be supervising all its functions in order to not make it an independent body and rather a body that is constantly regulated and supervised. Moreover, it will be catering to the whole female population and will be providing the report of its work regularly on regular intervals to the State Women Commission.
I'll say the Commission will supervise the implementation of the recommendations. It will help the people who are inactive, and they will also check them through media, press and public hearings. They will have the power of summoning officials who are inactive, and they will also investigate the delays. This commission requires to closely work with respective authorities on cases of their expertise, such as forming special committees and task force for sensitive or high-profile cases that work to collaborate with the police for effective and timely investigations. There are some states which do not have subdivisions, such as the Kerala and Nagaland. There we will provide some exceptions, and we will also have administrative divisions which will help in the implementation.
Right. So now we come to the implementation of this policy. Implementation, when we talk about it, the State Women Commission will already be establishing the offices and infrastructural development of these commissions in the administrative divisions of the country. What the commission will be focusing on is following a survey for every 5 years. Now this survey will be tackling the mitigation of gender-based violence and gender inequality in workplaces, in rural and urban spheres. It will also be collaborating. Now this is a very important point. The commission will be collaborating with NGOs in order to bridge the gap between rural, women in outskirts who are not able to reach the proper channel of accessing their own justice and grievances. So this will ensure that NGOs which already are working with the women at grassroots level will be able to work collaboratively with the commission in order to understand the core of the problem and also implement solutions which are in alignment with what the women actually require and need. This commission will also actively be tracking crime-based incidents in various parts of the country. Now this will be through forming special committees and task forces, and also collaboratively working with police authorities and other local authorities in order to understand in which areas, which outskirts or which parts of the administrative unit are the blind spots, are the places where it is not very visible of what the condition of women really is.
Important to make sure that existing laws are not only kept within the pages of Constitution, but are also lawfully implemented. Because I believe that a Constitution has taken every possible measure in order to protect and guarantee safety to our women. Yet these laws are not being implemented lawfully. The main objectives of our policy is the adaptation completion of Mission Shakti scheme and systematically plan for its long-term application. Increase women's access to financial resources to guard the safety with the help of installation of more and more CCTV cameras and street lights so that they feel safe at all places and at all times. To make sure all girls are given education, for to fund some families, education to women are not taken as a blessing but a burden, a liability. To ensure women's suffrage and encourage them to take leadership in the society. To make sure proper execution of laws. Our women, our Indian women like Kamala Harris, are standing for election in countries like US, but we still, even after more than 70 years of independence, only have one female Prime Minister. Why can't we grow women like Kamala Harris in our nation? The statement or problem that we are dealing with is that women do not feel safe to come up with the problems that we aim to solve. Therefore, we aim to recruit more and more female police officers. Almost 10 years ago from now, the government had promised that there would be more than 33 or minimum 33% of police officers, yet in 2024 we still have only 12% of female police officers in ratio of that of men. It has often been a complaint of women who have been through sexual harassments or assaults that they could not openly express their problems to male police officers, and hence recruitment of female police officer is extremely crucial in order to help them. This can also be done with the help of pink booths that are right now only limited to Lucknow, which can be promoted and established throughout the nation, providing financial funds for education.
2,000 cases of rape were reported across India. Yet do you know how many resulted in convictions? Only 27.8%. This isn't a gap in statistics. It is a gap between the promise of justice and the painful reality women face every day. But we are here to close that gap. Today, I introduce the Nyaya Shakti Vahini and Shakti Badges, a transformative innovation aimed at tackling gender-based violence and promoting gender equality across India. These policies won't just shift numbers, they will change lives. Now some might ask, don't we have enough laws to protect women already? But let me pose a question. Why do so many women in India choose silence over seeking justice after facing violence? Is it because we lack laws? Absolutely not. The laws exist. But when women turn to the system, they're often left fighting alone, facing shame, family pressure, and endless legal maze. In fact, 25 to 30% of cases are withdrawn, not because the crime didn't happen, but because the victims feel too threatened or hopeless to continue. And the struggle doesn't just end here. Let's look at the workplace, where 60% of women reported experiencing harassment. Women represent just 23% of India's formal workforce. Think about that. 23% in a country over 1 billion of people. This isn't just a workforce gap. It is a system for a much larger societal issue.
That's why we propose Nyaya Shakti Vahini, page 6 and onwards, a specialized task force designed to offer victim gender-based violence, legal, emotional and logistical support. This isn't just about filing a case, it's about standing by the victim at every step from the moment an FIR is lodged to the day justice is delivered. Imagine if every woman had someone by her side throughout the entire legal process. This is the core vision of Nyaya Shakti Vahini. These task forces will be established in every district police department comprising trained personnel, police officers, government-appointed lawyers, counselors, and logistical support staff. Their mission is to ensure the victims' safety and well-being throughout the legal process. They will coordinate with the local courts to ensure cases move quickly and don't get lost in the backlog. But that's not all. Nyaya Shakti Vahini will also provide free legal representation, psychological support, and logistical assistance, such as safe transportation to court hearing. In high-risk cases, they will even offer protection orders to safeguard victims from intimidation. This initiative is not just about increasing access to justice, it's about ensuring justice is accessible to every woman, no matter where she comes from. Our aim is to increase
by 50% in the first 5 years. We plan to reduce case withdrawals by 20% within 3 years.
Beyond courts, the workplace must also be a space where women feel safe and equal. That's where the Shakti badges come in. A corporate certification program that rewards companies for adopting women-friendly policies. These badges signify more than just compliance. They represent workplaces where women can grow without fear. And it's not just about earning a shiny badge. Companies that qualify for the Shakti badge will enjoy tangible benefits, tax rebates, public recognition, and even access to government contracts. The Shakti badge initiative is a corporate certification system wherein organizations that adopt fair policies like gender pay parity, safe working environments, robust sexual harassment prevention programs will be awarded these badges. The highest level, Shakti Rasman, will recognize companies where at least 40% of leadership positions are held by women and where extended maternity leave and flexible working hours to women are.
नमस्कार, आप सभी का स्वागत है इमेज टुडे में और मैं हूं आपके साथ सोनिया सिंह। इस वक्त मैं मौजूद हूं LMJC यानी कि ला मार्टिना गर्ल्स कॉलेज में और आज यहां पर महिलाओं का एक खास मुद्दा लेकर के बच्चे ओरिएंटेशन प्रेजेंटेशन में शामिल हो रहे हैं। ये वुमेन्स एम्पावरमेंट पॉलिसी के तहत बच्चे अपने अपने रिसर्च करके आज यहां पर अपना प्रेजेंटेशन दे रहे हैं। तो चलिए ले चलते सीधे आपको पूरे प्रोग्राम में और आए हुए जज से भी बात करेंगे और बच्चों से भी बात करेंगे कि क्या आज सच में महिलाओं का मुद्दा एक अहम मुद्दा बनता जा रहा है और उनका एक्सपीरियंस कैसा है, सभी से हम बात करते हैं।
मुझे बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है कि जो यंग जनरेशन है जो लीगल फील्ड में अभी आने वाली है वो लोग कैसे पहले से तैयारी कर रहे हैं इतनी ज़्यादा, स्पेशली जो बहुत ही हॉटेड मुद्दा जो है वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट को लेकर के उस पर इतनी अच्छी रिसर्च करी, इतना अच्छा प्रेजेंटेशन दिया और अपनी अपनी पॉलिसीज़ को बहुत अच्छे से रिप्रेजेंट किया।
अच्छा मैम, अगर नंबर देने की बात आएगी क्योंकि सबने अपने अपनी तरीके से बहुत ही बेहतरीन प्रेजेंटेशन दी है, अगर नंबर देने की बात आएगी तो 10 में कितने नंबर आप बच्चों को देंगी?
मैं तो 10 दे दूँगी।
आज के टाइम पे महिलाओं के लिए एक मुद्दा बन गया है लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं ये खरा नहीं उतर रहा है। आपने इन सभी बच्चों को देखा, क्या आपने क्या फील किया कि अभी ये बच्चे इतने छोटे लेकिन फिर भी इतनी अच्छी प्रेजेंटेशन दे रहे हैं?
मैम, सबसे बड़ी इम्पोर्टेंट बात यही है कि आपने जैसे कहा कि बच्चे प्रेजेंटेशन दे रहे हैं। हम अपने बचपने का याद करें तो हमको तो ये इश्यूज़ के बारे में मालूम ही नहीं था और ये छोटे बच्चे इन्होंने इतना रिसर्च करके और इतनी अच्छी तरह से प्रेजेंट किया है इसको, यही ये सीड है जो आगे चल के बड़ा पेड़ बनेगा महिला सशक्तिकरण का।
आपको लगता है जैसे कि मैंने कहा कि महिलाओं के लिए बातें तमाम की जाती हैं लेकिन ज़मीनी हकीकत पर जब हम उतरते हैं तब उसका नतीजा कुछ और ही देखने को मिलता है, तो आपको लगता है कि एक है मुद्दा?
बिल्कुल मुद्दा है मैम, और इसका चेंज आएगा थ्रू सोसाइटी ओनली। लॉज, जुडिशरी, पनिशमेंट, लेजिस्लेशन, इससे कभी किसी सोसाइटल चेंज नहीं आएगा। ये कल्चरल एंड सोसाइटल चेंज की ज़रूरत है और वो हम लोग के अंदर से आनी, और उसके लिए अगेन ये बच्चे, ये यूथ सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है। इनकी अवेयरनेस होगी तो ये आगे चल के सबको चेंज करेंगे।
क्या आपको लगता है कि लोगों को अपनी सोच अब बदल लेनी चाहिए?
सोच तो बहुत पहले बदल लेनी चाहिए थी अब तो समय निकलता जा रहा है।
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल सोचना क्या, आई वॉज प्रिटी शॉक्ड पहले तो कि इतनी ज़्यादा अवेयरनेस, इतनी ज़्यादा प्रॉपरली डिटेल्ड, इतना एक एक चीज़ को प्रॉपरली कंसिडर किया गया है, एक एक लेवल पे हर चीज़ को, इवन ग्रास रूट लेवल तक इन लोगों ने एक एक चीज़ को कंसिडर किया गया, जो बहुत ही ज़्यादा मतलब इट इज़ अ ह्यूज थिंग कंसिडरिंग। हम लोग जब इनकी एज में थे, एज सर ने पहले बोला था, हम लोग आई वॉजेंट अवेयर अबाउट इट इवन, एंड मैं ज़्यादा मतलब आई एम जस्ट 30 राइट नाउ, तो इवन इन माई एज में हम लोग इतना ज़्यादा अवेयर नहीं थे, ये लोग अभी सही इतना ज़्यादा अवेयर है, सो दैट इज़ वेरी गुड।
लेकिन एक सवाल है हमारा आपसे कि आपने जैसे कहा कि हमारे टाइम में हम लोगों को नहीं पता होता, ऐसे स्कूल में भी इतना नहीं हम लोगों को नॉलेज होता था, लेकिन जिस तरीके से आज की कंडीशन है, आज की जनरेशन में हो रही हैं चीज़ें, महिलाओं के साथ हो, किसी के साथ भी हो, ये उस टाइम तो शायद नहीं, उस टाइम में और इस टाइम में क्या फ़र्क है?
मैम, उस टाइम और इस टाइम में जो यंग जनरेशन है वो ज़्यादा अवेयर है, और अल्टीमेटली सारी चीज़ जो है ना यंग जनरेशन पे आती है, उन्हीं के शोल्डर से ग्रेजुअली वही तो आगे बढ़ेंगे। आज अगर ये अवेयर हैं, ये अपनी नीचे जनरेशन को अवेयर करेंगे एंड सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ। सो द मोर अवेयर द यंगर जनरेशन इज, द बेटर इट इज़ फॉर द सोसाइटी।
मेरा सर से भी सवाल था और आपसे भी सवाल है कि आज के अब टाइम आ गया है कि लोगों को अपनी सोच बदल लेनी चाहिए?
बिल्कुल, सोच तो आई थिंक सो जिस दिन से इंडिपेंडेंस हुई थी उस दिन से बदलनी चाहिए थी, मगर एक सोसाइटी है ग्रेजुअली चेंज होते 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 यहाँ तक आई है, एंड सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ आगे और बढ़ जाएगी। हाँ, मगर यंगर जनरेशन हमारे जितना है उस हिसाब से अगर हम लोग देखें, सो आई थिंक सो इन अनदर 10 years हम लोग काफ़ी और रिफॉर्म देख सकते हैं।
तो अगर नंबर देने की बात आएगी बच्चों को, तो आप कितने 10 में से कितने नंबर आप देना चाहिए?
20।
माय नेम इज़ रुकैया और मेरा एक्सपीरियंस काफ़ी अच्छा रहा। आई एम रियली ऑनर्ड एक्चुअली टू बी हियर एंड टू लर्न न्यू थिंग्स। और इस पूरे एक्सपीरियंस में सबसे बेस्ट पार्ट और पूरा ये सबसे बेस्ट चीज़ ये थी कि यहाँ पे लाइक not only women's work or not only girls were there but also यहाँ पर लड़के भी थे जो empower कर रहे हैं और ये अपनी voice raise कर रहे हैं for women's. So this is very good to know and also to be a part of this amazing community and to stand for women and all the genders actually. और बहुत कुछ नया सीखने को मिला।
My name is सालिया अहमद। मेरा एक्सपीरियंस काफ़ी अच्छा था बाय द वे और मुझे बहुत मज़ा आया एंड आई गॉट टू लर्न सो मैनी न्यू थिंग्स अबाउट वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट एंड अबाउट इन द जेंडर्स दैट वी हैव एंड ऑल्सो आई लर्न न्यू थिंग्स एंड yeah, it was overall a great experience for me and as well as for everyone and I'm so glad to be here.
मैं इंग्लिश में आंसर दे दूँ? हाँ. So first of all, I would like to clarify that women's rights and gender equality is a very important topic, but it is generally being overlooked because people might think of it as very cliche or very overused. So it does require special attention, which is not being given to it as such, and therefore it is definitely a topic of utmost importance. मेरा एक्सपीरियंस बहुत अच्छा था, बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला दूसरों की पॉलिसीज़ देख के अपनी पॉलिसी बनाते हुए। जब रिसर्च करी हमने देखा कि ओ ये भी लॉज होते हैं, ओ ऐसे भी हो सकता है, ऐसे सोचना उस दिशा में कि ओ अच्छा हम ऐसे अपनी महिलाओं के लिए, अपनी माँ और बहन के लिए और सुरक्षित कर सकते हैं समाज को, सोसाइटी को। तो ये देखकर बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला।
जी, मेरा नाम देवव्रत तिलक है एंड आई बिलीव दैट इट वाज अ ग्रेट प्लेजर टू हैव कम टू GC एंड रिप्रेजेंट आवर स्कूल at La Martiniere Girls College. And most likely this particular event has also enriched us, but also has raised certain serious concerns that relate to women's safety, women empowerment. And we believe that if women and the emancipation and enlightenment could be done, I believe that India, our nation, could surely reach new heights. Experience, it was pretty good, मज़ा आया I'd rather say.
ये काफ़ी मुश्किल था। हमारे हाफ ईयरलीज़ के टाइम से हम लोगों ने ये सब स्टार्ट कर दिया था। दूसरे स्कूल्स को कांटेक्ट करना, उनसे हाँ हमें हाँ मिलवाना एंड देन उनको यहाँ पे लाना, ये सबसे आई थिंक कठिन पार्ट था क्योंकि कोई स्कूल मान नहीं रहा था। सबके हाफ ईयरलीज़ चल रहे थे या फिर कोई ना कोई इवेंट चल रहा था, तो आई थिंक ये बहुत कठिन था।
फाइनली खत्म हो गया, सब कुछ हो रहा है, तो कितना अच्छा लग रहा है?
बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, बट ऐसा लग रहा है कि दिनों की मेहनत अब जाके रंग ला रही है। बहुत
आपको कि ये वाला एक्सपीरियंस कहीं आपको फ्यूचर में काम आने वाला है?
काफ़ी, आई थिंक मेरे लिए तो काफ़ी काम आने वाला है, क्योंकि मैं इसी फील्ड में जाने वाली हूँ। तो मैं आगे लॉ परस्यू करने वाली हूँ। तो आई थिंक ये इवेंट पहली बार हो रहा है लखनऊ में, बट आई थिंक इसका बहुत अच्छा इम्पैक्ट होगा हमारे ऊपर, बिकॉज फ्यूचर में हेल्प ही करेगा पॉलिसी बनाने में, लाइक ड्राफ्ट करने में वगैरह वगैरह।
अधीश्री, अच्छा फील हो रहा है कि सब चीज़ें अच्छे से हो रही हैं, स्मूथली चल रही हैं एंड सब लोग मैनेज कर पा रहे हैं। इट्स अ गुड फीलिंग।
तो आपने देखा कि जब हमने जजों से बात की और यहाँ पर पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे बच्चों से बात की, तो उनका खास तौर पर यही कहना था कि बहुत ही अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस हम लोगों का रहा। और वुमेन्स एम्पावरमेंट की बात तो सभी करते हैं, लेकिन आज जिस तरीके से हम सभी लोगों ने रिसर्च करके यहाँ पर प्रेजेंट किया, वाकई में हम लोगों के लिए बहुत ही अच्छा रहा और कहीं ना कहीं ये हम लोगों के लिए आगे काम भी आने वाला है। विजय अजय के साथ मैं सोनिया सिंह मिश्र, लखनऊ।